Minimalism has had a profound effect on my life, and today I want to share the top 10 plus 1 ways that it can change your life too. Hi and welcome back everyone. I want to give a quick thank you to everyone who played the game last week, 43 Truths and a Lie. For my birthday, it was so much fun going through the comments and seeing which one you thought that I was lying about. Some of you did get the correct answer, but for those of you who haven't watched that video and want to check it out, I'm not going to be giving any spoiler alerts out loud, but you can check the answer to that question down in the comment section. I will have that comment pinned for you to look at. Again, thank you all so much for your kind birthday wishes and messages. I appreciate you all so very much. Okay, so on to the topic of how minimalism can change your life. Let's start out with something that is pretty common knowledge, and that is that minimalism will help to alter the environment that you surround yourself with. Now, when most people hear the word minimalist or simple living, probably the first thing that comes to mind is decluttering or getting rid of some excess things. So you might be thinking, okay, so what? My house gets a little less cluttered. How life-changing could that actually be? Well, in my opinion, very. And the reason has less to do with how your house looks and feels and everything to do with how you feel about and look at yourself. When you live in a messy environment that feels hopeless to clean, negative thoughts will begin to creep into your mind. I'm a slob. I don't deserve any better than this. I'm too busy to even try to clean up. And this is a vicious feedback cycle. If you feel unworthy to live in a clean environment, how much effort do you think you will put forth to try to keep up with the chores? How much time will you set aside to do any cleaning or organizing? Probably not very much. I know it sounds a little cliche, but really the first step in making a change is just deciding that you do have a worthwhile life, that you are worth putting effort towards. And as the layers of clutter and excess are peeled away, the amount of time and effort it takes to accomplish chores in order to maintain a healthy and clean environment is reduced significantly. And that is the second way that minimalism can change your life. In fact, I've done an entire video about all of the little tasks that you can do in just around 1 minute. And I'm not going to lie, I got actually quite a bit of criticism from that video from people saying that there was no way that these chores could be done so quickly. But it's true. I can make my bed in just around 1 minute in the morning, and then throughout the rest of the day, as I walk by my open bedroom door, I can appreciate that little teeny tiny bit of effort. Here's the thing, when you are surrounded by a messy situation, it's kind of easy to ignore to a degree. For example, a snack wrapper on the floor will blend in with the landscape if there's already a lot of junk on it. It's easy to walk by and not give a second glance. Again, coupled with the mindset aspect that we talked about in the last point, it's easy to walk by until it gets so bad that you simply can't avoid it anymore and something needs to be done. The problem is, at that point, it is likely a major chore. If, in contrast, you keep a clear floor and clear counters, it is so easy to see when something needs to be taken care of or is out of place. And it's actually easier to get the job done than it is to walk by and ignore it. If you start practicing minimalism, you will see how all of those little roadblocks that get in the way of keeping your home tidy are intentionally removed. And not only that, minimalism also really challenges you to look more closely at how your life is running. In turn, you will be prompted to make some changes to systems and schedules to help smooth things out. You can think of minimalism sort of like the sanding down or polishing off of the rough edges of life. You may find that you have far too much on your plate and decide to drop some commitments so that your schedule is more clear. You may notice that meal prepping on Sunday afternoon saves you a couple of hours throughout the week and allows you to get in some extra snuggles with your kids. Or that doing a load of laundry every single day can help you stay on top of that seemingly never-ending chore. By fine-tuning, the realization may come that where you are currently storing something, such as Band-Aids or batteries, isn't the best place for them. So you might make some different decisions about where things are kept. Or you may realize that there's no need to keep 5 extra sets of bedding when you only have guests spending the night once or twice per year. This is a highly individualized process, but one that will give you a calm that only comes from feeling in complete control of your personal situation. The fourth way that minimalism can change your life is that it has a tendency to kill the comparison game and promote contentment. 6+ years into my own journey as a minimalist, and I can confidently say that I am rarely plagued by that twinge of jealousy that comes when someone has something that I don't have. And I'm no longer faked out by commercials and advertisements that market a product claiming that if only I had this or that, my life would be more fulfilled. Now, just because you practice minimalism, don't expect that you will no longer have the desire to make any upgrades for your life. I do, I know that you will, but the difference is that these upgrades will come about naturally as something that you and I seek out on our own to fill a need or want for ourselves. And because of that greater sense of contentment, there is also more patience that comes along with making those dreams a reality. There's no need to drop everything to run to the mall or tap into the credit cards to make it happen. You might write out a goal and tape up some inspiration pictures, do some daydreaming even, all before investing a single cent or second into making that goal a reality. As the classic children's fable, The Tortoise and the Hare, taught us, sometimes the best way to win a race is slow and steady. And I think that minimalists do a great job of acknowledging that and putting it into practice. Naturally, with this slow and steady approach, the emphasis will switch from quantity to quality. This is a major life change in its own right. The amount of items coming into your home will be greatly reduced, and that means that any decluttering sessions, especially the really intense ones, will also slow down, and you will be thinking twice before making any purchases. You're going to really start to evaluate the cost versus value of an item. This change really hit home for me about 2 to 3 years into my minimalism journey around Christmas time. I used to have the theory that all of my kids should have the same number of gifts. I wanted them to have plenty to open on Christmas Day so that it was really magical and exciting. And I was able to accomplish that only by buying very cheap items. And I realized that if I were to just pool all of that money together, we could buy some really nice, maybe 1 or 2 really nice items that our kids could share, and that these quality products would last a lot longer. The same can be said for basically any item. A quality product that is made of solid materials will last 10 times longer and give you years longer of satisfaction. And like I mentioned in the last point, because you have a greater sense of contentment while practicing minimalism, it will be easier to wait that little while longer to save up for the item of higher quality. But just a word of caution too, just because something costs more, it doesn't necessarily mean it is better. So be careful to do your own research. Minimalism promotes a strong sense of home, and the aesthetics of home are developed very naturally. Again, this is a very slow and steady approach. It's done very intentionally though. So it's not just done to fill a space or to fill a wall. And I know that some people really don't like the idea of minimalism because they think of it as being lots of cold spaces that are uninviting, not a lot in them, and that they don't think that they could ever live that way. But the truth is that home is really a place where we feel most comfortable. That is the concept that we have as minimalists. And so somebody who lives in a very pared down environment, they feel comfortable there. That's a little too far for me, and so our home, I think, is a good mix. We like to call it sort of a warm minimalist approach, where we have a lot of earthy tones, we have a lot of soft materials and textures that give interest and livelihood to our spaces, but that's how we feel most comfortable. I believe we have a tidy home and still have comfortable style, surrounded by things that mean something to us and that we enjoy, instead of just decorations or furniture that was brought in for a certain catalog-worthy aesthetic or because someone told us that a wall in our home looked bare. This is how we like to live. And if you practice minimalism, you will find what you like for your environment as well. The next lesson that I've come to learn as a minimalist, and something that really can change your life, is realizing that we put exponentially more value on our things than anyone else puts on our things. I get it, that is human nature, it makes sense. The memories, including the memory of how much money was spent on an item, that doesn't transfer to anyone else. And that becomes ever more obvious when you try to sell or even give away your precious cargo. It may be shocking to learn, as harsh as it may sound, that people don't want your stuff. Personally, I'm really glad that I learned this lesson at a relatively young age because it gives me a better, more realistic expectation of what I should keep around to be passed down to my kids or loved ones. The truth? That's not very much. I can start having these conversations now and even write my intentions in my will, and it feels great to know that I'm not expecting the next generation to deal with a lot of excess. I've done a few videos about Swedish death cleaning, and probably the most striking words from the study of this practice are these. Don't let your stuff be a barrier between your loved ones and their grief. You are the valuable one, not your things. And the sooner that you can learn that lesson, the sooner that your life can change to reflect it. By spending more time with each other and making those memories together. Another realization that can really change your life is knowing that most everything, any goal, large or small, can happen just a bit at a time. You've no doubt heard the expression that the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. You're not expected to tackle it all head on. Even those little steps in the direction that you want to go are worthwhile, and they will add up to big changes. When I was first starting out with minimalism, I had a ton of work laid out in front of me. Go watch my video about the 5-year transformation when I went from messy to minimal. It might shock some of you, but if I had looked at everything I was up against and tried to take it all on with one big push, I would have definitely burnt myself out and more than likely given up long before I had made any true progress. Instead, I took the advice of others who had simplified their lives before me and just did the next thing day after day, cleaning one cabinet, sorting through one dresser of clothing, emptying one junk drawer, and micro-organizing it. And do you know what happened? I felt proud of myself, and that feeling then propelled me into even more action and more accomplishments. And now that I have those large decluttering sessions behind me, I can look back and say, wow, I actually did accomplish a lot, and that happened one little bit at a time. Minimalism gives you the power to say no. When you have goals and ambitions for your life and then realize, as I just mentioned, that you can achieve them through time and consistent effort, it actually makes it so much easier to avoid the burnout that might have in the past come with taking on too much. You'll learn it's best to pick and choose the things that fit well into your life or aligns with your own personal values and beliefs. It's funny how that one simple word, no, can be so difficult to say. We don't want to let anyone down if they ask for our help or our money, but the thing is that sometimes when you don't say no, you're actually letting yourself down. I think that minimalism really helps a person to recognize the value of their own time and energy and makes it easier to say no. And realize too that saying no to something actually means you're saying yes to something else. You're just making a choice. And that goes hand in hand with the next point that I want to make. Minimalism will give you a stronger agency, which is the power to make your own decisions and to be confident in them. I felt this one strongly as it relates to debt. And that was one of the things that had a major turnaround during our simplification and when my husband and I started implementing these minimalist practices. We had been drowning in debt, all of the normal stuff, the credit cards, the student loans, car payments, And we felt that even if we wanted to make a change in our lives, we couldn't. We were stuck and just burdened down with these debts until we realized by simplifying our lives, we were able to focus more time and attention and energy towards this goal of reducing our debt. And eventually we had the goal of eliminating it completely. And so we were able to tackle that. And again, like I talked about earlier, one little bit at a time, we made these payments. It took us a couple of years, but when we signed that final debt payment and we're 100% debt free, besides our mortgage, which we are actively working towards right now, it was a freedom that we had never experienced before. In a lot of ways, I feel like life is a huge series of decisions that need to be made, and the more confident that we can feel while making them, the better. And finally, probably the most important way that minimalism can change your life is knowing that it all starts with you. You are the factor that makes your life better. It isn't minimalism. Now, as a Christian, my belief is that we are all given certain gifts and abilities to help us get through life in the way that God ordained for us. We don't all have the same skills, but we have the skills that we need. But guess what? These skills and abilities can get covered up and clouded by all of the noise of the world, maybe to the point of making us believe that they aren't really there at all. Practicing minimalism really encourages you to strip away all of that noise and get down to the heart, the core of who you were created to be. The minimalists, Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, have said these profound words: "You are complete in an empty room." And I think that is an amazing reminder to us that anything that you own, anything that you do, it's just an extension of who you already were. And the confidence that we can gain from just having this knowledge is exponential. You are that +1 on this list. 10 ways that minimalism can change your life, but one person who is going to get that done and experience those benefits. I hope that this information was inspirational to you. I'm going to leave the list here if you want to screenshot it so that you can look at it a little bit more in depth and think about it some more. I know it's a lot to take in. But again, I hope that it was encouraging to you, gave you some food for thought. As always, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop back again really soon.